Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Obviously, my name is Miguel Quiles because you're here on my channel or on Facebook. Let me know, actually, before we get going, where you are watching this. Are you on Facebook or are you on YouTube? Because I'm trying to figure out where I want to continue to have these live streams. So let me know in the comments section where you are watching from. And without further ado, I am joined today by Miss Anita Sadowska.
Sadowska.
I wanted to say it. I wanted to say it. I choked.
The most common way to pronounce my surname is Sadowska. That's usually how it goes.
Sadowska.
It's a hard
I always know
W.
the W has like a V sound to it normally.
Yeah. It's the Polish thing. So
that's awesome.
But I don't mind. I don't mind either way. It's fine. Yeah, I'm very good. It was actually a really sunny day today. Actually, no, it was like raining midway, but now it's nice and sunny. I think we're gonna get a good sunset that I'm not gonna get to see because it's like 8 p.m. here. Yeah, nice. It was productive. I just published a YouTube video as well, so not a bad day.
Pretty killer. I am doing pretty good. Just happy to be here with you and with everybody who's watching. I'm going through the chat here really quick. So let's see who's in the house. Let me know, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Let me know where you're watching from. We've got Mr. Camera Junkie, as always. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Juan Vasquez says hello. Let's see. Richard. Hello, Miguel. Look forward to this. And hello to everyone else. He's watching from Michigan. And then look who we have here, Miss Irene Rudnick.
Well, hello there. my YouTube wife.
That's right, your YouTube wife. We still, I told her that we were going to do an eyebrow challenge. That we were going to like do a challenge where whoever loses has to shave their eyebrows. But then I was like, nah, because then I'm not going to have eyebrows. So not a good idea.
Okay, fair enough. I could totally do it because mine are microbladed. So even if I shave them off, I'll still have the tattoo on. So
wow.
But I would probably lose and I would probably shave them because it's Irene. She's just too good.
She's a beast, man. She did that self-portrait challenge or self-portrait video.
It was ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. It's like, how can you be beautiful, talented, and smart at the same time? It's just leave something for others.
Seriously, just hoarding all the riches, this girl. Every time. We've got Nick, who's watching on YouTube. Tiffany says hello. James Parrish, how's it going? Wow, we got a lot of people in here. I can't even keep up with all of this. Hold on. We've got Vanessa Joy in the house. Good old New Jerseyite. We got my boy Byron in the house. Jesse. Looks like Benjamin in New Orleans. Tiffany watching on YouTube. Well, that's really nice. James says Anita looks like a model. Work it, Anita.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Post a little thing on my story.
Yeah, hold on. We got to make it look like controversial. So
controversial.
Like I have to have a certain face. Like
okay, I'll be like really angry. Like
hold on, am I looking the right way? No, it's this way. There it is. People are gonna be like, "What is he saying to her?"
Oh my god!
Down for that challenge. She was a little too excited when I told her about it, so. I don't think that's gonna work.
So what was the challenge about? What were you guys going like? What were you supposed to shoot something or what's happening?
Yeah, so we were at the Sony Kondo event late last year, and we ended up doing this like very crazy challenge that was on my channel, and it was Irene and Manny Ortiz, Gerald Undone. Pierre Lambert. We had like a bunch of YouTubers and we were doing this like ridiculous challenge where we were riding on a bike and trying to take a drive-by photo of Irene. And so, we were just all in the mood to do this like big photography challenge thing. And so I was just being silly saying like, oh, we should do like whoever loses, you have to shave your eyebrows. And she's like, oh yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, whoa, you're a little too excited about that. I don't think I want to play.
She knows she's going to win. That's what
I know. She super was very like excited about it. So I was like, no, I don't think so. So we're gonna actually start off. She's got a question, and I want to invite all of you who are watching the live stream right now. Any questions that you guys have, please leave it in the comment section below. We're gonna get things started. Question for both of you guys: what inspires you to make YouTube videos? And I'll let you start on that.
I think from my perspective, when I first started my YouTube channel, it was such a cool thing to connect with so many photographers, like-minded photographers. And just the fact that somebody was actually interested in seeing my work was such a wild concept, because I was like, oh, actually somebody cares about my work. Wow, well, what is this about?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think it's definitely, I won't lie, it is a bit of a vanity thing, because I just like enjoy the attention. I'm an Aries, so I do love a bit of attention on me. I won't
Mm-hmm.
lie. But also, just the fact that I can actually genuinely help people with what I do. And I guess I'm not the conventional photographer, because I don't have like, I'm not super technical and I'm not super by the book. I just kind of go with the flow. So it's kind of nice to educate people on that, and just showing them that there is no certain way to do things. You can do it different ways and still achieve, really good results. So I guess that's the main thing for me.
That's
How about
awesome.
you?
I think that for me, as far as where it started, I think when I got into it, there wasn't as many resources available out there outside
Mhm.
of like the traditional routes of like going to college or, assisting professional photographers. And so at the time, I had just decided, why don't I learn and then turn around, and everything that I learn, I'll teach it. And I
Mhm.
feel like it helps on a variety of different fronts. On the one hand, if I learn something and then I teach it, it kind of reinforces those things that I learn. But then also, there's no secrets, right? So
Mhm.
it kind of always makes me hungry to want to go out and try something different and learn
Yeah.
something new. Because obviously, you could only teach the same thing so many times before people just say, "Oh, this isn't something I'm interested
Yeah.
in." So I think that's kind of what it is. And for me, today, what kind of inspires me is just to continue to create content that I'm not seeing other people create,
Mhm.
and making videos that I would like to see, right?
Mhm.
And I guess in a way, like, I guess there's a little bit of vanity in it on my end as well, because I want to make the type of videos that I want to watch.
Yeah,
And,
of course.
so that if one day, God forbid, like I got clubbed over the head and I forgot my name and I forgot what I do, like I can go back and watch my own videos and hopefully get back to where I once was. And
Mhm.
so, some people are cool with that, and other people are just like, oh, I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I ride with the ones that kind of feel that. So,
Mhm.
very, very good question. Let's go to the
So
next
funny,
one
I was
here.
I was in like a
Mhm.
different tab. I was in like a private chat, and there was like no comments then at all. And then I saw the live comments. I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of
It's like a
comments.
whole world. It's awesome.
But I'm like, I'm slightly bit blind, so I'm like, I can't see anything. I'm like, I have to sit like this. I'm really blind, and like
Yeah, I'm pretty
staring at
bad
my
too.
phone for 10 hours a day doesn't help at all. It does
Yeah.
not help.
Yeah, I wonder if there are any photographers that actually have like great vision without contacts or glasses. I feel like my vision used to be pretty good, and now it's just like very, I don't know, it's just not very good.
Yeah, I used to be 20/20. Now I'm like, I'm not bad. I think I'm like -1 on both eyes, so I can't see from afar.
Hmm.
It's okay. It's not too bad. It's just like, especially I think because I sit on my phone so close up every single day, it's just like I have to like strain my eyes to see what's happening. So if I'm just sitting there like this, you know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very much the same way. So just to kind of, I mean, most of the people that are watching this, maybe they know who you are. Maybe there's a few that don't. So what do you specialize in? Like, what is it that you love to shoot?
So in general, I mostly shoot swimwear nowadays. I used to shoot a bit more fashion and beauty. But lately, for the last year or so of my life, I've been living in Bali. So that definitely doesn't, make things very difficult to shoot swimwear. So I've been mainly doing swimwear and yeah, some beauty. That just mainly swimwear, some fashion. But that's kind of basically what I do. I do some Photoshop as well, but very limited. And yeah, that's me.
Nice. So this kind of random off the wall question, but
Hmm.
so I know I've seen some of your retouching videos in the past. Um, Now, being that you're creating content on YouTube, you're shooting full time.
Hmm.
Um, are you still doing the majority of your retouching, or have you hired retouchers to kind of help you along in that process? How
Yeah,
does that
no,
work?
I mostly outsource retouchers nowadays just because in general I just don't enjoy the retouching process as much as some people do. I actually just had a live with Pratik, who is an amazing
Yes,
retoucher.
I watched it. It was great.
Yeah, and he was just saying that for him retouching is like yoga and he just relaxes so much and it's just so refreshing. And I'm like the other way. I get really frustrated and I get really worked up. And I think it's just the fact that I'm so impatient in general in my life and it's just like it's just not something that I enjoy doing basically. And it's just I can't do it. I can't do it. I can do a decent job at it, but I just find it so much easier to just outsource my retouching to other people and just, have more time to plan my shoots, especially now that I do YouTube. It's like how I like live now. It's just I don't take photos professionally anymore, pretty much. I do from time to time, but it's mostly YouTube nowadays. So it kind of frees up more of my time to just do more cool videos and just shoot at more cool locations and so on. And I think my time is just better spent that way rather than just sitting in front of the computer and retouching.
Yeah, I totally agree. There was a period where I wanted to be like the greatest photographer slash retoucher, and I got so
Hmm.
much pride sitting down. And, I remember I used to be like, man, I spent 3 hours on that photo. And it was like a source of,
Hmm.
pride that I did that. And, then you start booking a lot of different shoots and you get to the point to where it's like, okay, either I outsource this or I basically
Hmm.
will not have a life, you
Yeah,
know?
that's basically it. And it's just like for me also because I'm sure you know that yourself from your videos, if you post it behind the scenes and you post only like 3 or 4 photos, people get really annoyed and they're like, I want to see
Right.
more photos. So I end up shooting maybe, or maybe posting maybe 10 to 14 images per shoot. And that's a lot of images to get through. So it's like if I can outsource a retoucher that just does it for me, it just makes it so much easier and it saves so much of my time that I can just spend, as I said, doing other shoots and other things that I enjoy more. So,
Yeah, I
and I
totally
find
agree.
also, and I find also when I spend too much time retouching, I get really frustrated and really tired, and then I just don't have time or like the energy to do anything else. So again, it's kind of it's my time, but it's also this kind of like my mental space to be able to kind of like free up my brain just to know that those projects are taken care of and I don't have to sit in front of the computer for like 20 hours just trying to get them done.
Exactly. Exactly. He was
Yeah.
asking, do we read the comments that people write?
Do you
No.
read? Do you see how many comments there are?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of comments for sure.
There is, yeah.
We talked about this one that Sanjay left about editing your own pictures. Um, let's see. I see many videos from Anita. One of them was very negative for Nikon Z6 and compare with EOS R.
I
You did
didn't. No,
this?
I
You did this
didn't.
comparison?
No, I didn't compare it with the EOS R. I compared it with my Canon 5D Mark IV, and
Okay.
yeah, it was not a positive one.
Yeah, I could see how that could happen.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
see.
it's like the thing is I started with Nikon. It was like the very first camera I had. I started with a D60. I
Mhm.
used to shoot it with Nikon up to like maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago. So I used it for a bunch of my work, but I think just in terms of colors and in terms of few other things, I just find that Canon works better for me. I think
Mhm.
Nikon is very technical and very, I don't know, there's something very cold about it. I
Right.
can't describe.
I hear
It's like
that
an
so
energy.
often.
It's like an aura.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard this so
um
often about Nikon. It's interesting, or
yeah,
Nikon.
so I'm definitely a Canon slash Sony girl, which is a weird mix as well, I know, but I love both brands and I think they're really good. So
That's awesome. And you're shooting with both systems, or
um I own a Canon. I only have the 5D Mark IV, but I've used the A7R 3 and 4 quite a lot. So and I definitely enjoy them as well.
nice. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you shot in Florida, but Benjamin was asking, what's a great place in Florida to shoot swimwear, clear or turquoise water?
I've literally only been in LA for like a week in America, and that's
Wow.
about it. I've never
I
been
know. We
anywhere
were
else.
there at the
So
same time and we weren't
I
able to.
know. So
Uh,
annoying. We almost
was
got to meet, and there was like, nope.
Nope, nope, wasn't in the cards. Unfortunately, I was running around with Manny all few days that I was there. So,
Yeah.
and I think
You're
Taylor
like, go
did.
damn it, Manny.
Yeah, I saw Taylor too. Did you get to hang out with Taylor Jackson that
We
week as
stayed with
well?
him.
So
We
yeah,
stayed with
okay,
him.
that was that trip where we got the
Yeah.
big house or
I
whatever.
think, but
Yeah,
I think what happened is like you guys came like a few days earlier, and we came a few days later because
yep,
basically I was shooting a retreat in Bali, and I could only like arrive on the 9th, I think. And
That's
you
what it
guys were
was.
leaving that day or something, so we just literally missed each other.
Yeah, we were both doing classes at Sammy's Camera in LA.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think when you were arriving, we were just getting ready to leave. And I
Yes,
couldn't
yeah.
extend the trip, unfortunately, which sucks.
Hmm. Yeah,
But I
it was
guess
still fun.
in general, so take the Miami part out of it. Do you prefer
Yeah,
clear or turquoise water?
I mean, shouldn't it be clear and turquoise? Um,
Best
because
of both
that's
worlds.
usually how it goes. It's like usually the clearer and the more turquoise, the better. I mean, to be honest, I've shot in every single possibility. Obviously, if you have turquoise water, it's very interesting. However, I find sometimes when you shoot in turquoise water, it can kind of look a bit boring because there's so many people that shoot with this like blue ass water, and
Hmm.
it's just kind of you have to do something extra to make it look special. I kind of like it when it's in between. Usually, the best watercolor is during midday, but obviously the light isn't ideal then because it's just the light hits straight into the water, and that's why the water is so bright and blue. So I would usually just shoot either like slightly before midday or slightly like later in the afternoon, like maybe 2 or 3, and then the water is still relatively pretty blue, but the shadows are not as extreme.
Right. Pretty cool.
Is, reta-
David's
is
got an
retouching?
interesting question. So, is retouching so necessary? Any photographers out there that don't retouch? He basically was saying that to see photos that aren't retouched but already great out of camera. So, uh, do you shoot in RAW or JPEG? And do you think that that impacts why you have to retouch?
Yeah, like I mean, personally for me, I don't think retouching is necessary. I think color grading is. I
Hmm.
think without color grading, you're just your camera's slave because your camera takes the photo and you have no output, like okay, you decide on settings and so on. But at the end of the day, it's whatever the camera decides. And then the way you color grade your images is how you view the situation and how you think the image should look, and that gives you your style and your sense of personality, I guess. So when it comes to retouching per se, I don't think it's necessary for Photoshop. Like if you see my latest photo on Instagram, it's a very raunchy photo that is like pretty much naked. I literally didn't do any skin retouching at all. It was like zero Photoshop. But I did color grading, and color grading is just so important because it really does make a difference. But yeah, I always shoot in RAW because it's just you get so much more control over your colors afterwards as well. So it's definitely better.
Nice. And since you said that, I'm going to try to pull up your. I'm going to pull up your
Oh,
Instagram.
oh, careful there! You're gonna get blocked. You're going to
Let's
get
see.
removed from YouTube right now.
That would be terrible. That would be terrible.
I can show the photo on the screen of my on my phone.
Here it goes. I think
Sorry.
I got it. All
Oh,
right. Can you
oh,
see it now?
yeah.
All right. So everybody, this is Anita's Instagram, which if you're into the Instagram stuff, definitely head on over there and follow. So I guess
But
you're
yeah,
talking about this
I'm
naked
talking
photo
about
here.
this. I'm talking about this very naked photo. Yes. So there
Isn't
was
it
literally no.
amazing? Look at that. 3,984 likes compared to 6,054.
It's usually depends. It's like, I had photos that like it kind of depends on the vibes. Sometimes people just really love the model, and I find that's the thing. Usually people react particularly strongly to certain models. Obviously, the fact that the photo was the way it is, I think people react very well to like rich skin tones, obviously nudity as well. It's obviously a bit different because when I shoot for YouTube, I have to keep it pretty PG and I can't put any of this kind of stuff on it. But then when I shoot for Instagram, I can just go to town and just put little dots on the nipples, and then we're sorted. So,
Right.
and I
Totally
have to
makes
say,
sense.
I've been enjoying. Like, I have to say, I really want to shoot more like nudity because I really, really enjoy it. I think it can be done really beautifully without it looking sleazy. And with Bali, there's so many models that are up for doing it, and then they're more than happy to do it. That it's just, and the locations are amazing. So why wouldn't you do it? It's just I always kind of when I do it, I always have to figure out the balance between having my YouTube shoots and having Instagram, because I can't just shoot for Instagram because that doesn't bring me necessarily any clients, or maybe it would, but I always try and do it in a way where I'll shoot for YouTube, I will do the normal PG stuff, and then I will take some extras that are like this one. So I will have a full behind the scenes from this shoot, but obviously I just won't put those photos into the video.
Right. Totally makes
Yeah.
sense. And, I think everything you said, 100%, I'm right there with you. I think that, you know, I oftentimes wonder if people, who kind of ask this question about whether or not photos should be retouched or not just don't want to take the time to learn how to retouch. Because honestly, like if you're shooting a photo in RAW, which hopefully most of you are, but you know, if you're shooting a photo in RAW, the picture comes out so flat. So just like you said, you have to take it into a program like Lightroom or Capture One. You have to color grade that photo. You have to color correct that photo. You know, whether or not you're going to go in there and do like a full on, you know, skin retouching, which you can do in Lightroom and you can do in Capture One. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think, you know, I don't know. I mean, back in the day with film, when you bought film, each stock of film had its own look to it. So, you know, some people like the colors that they were getting out of, you know, Kodak film and all the different types of Kodak films that there are. Some people like Fuji film.
And you know, and even like with film, there's still ways people would like retouch the film because they would like blur, like use certain chemicals and those kind of stuff. So I think it's just like, I know there's this whole movement of like, we should not retouch our photos. And listen, if that's what works for you, go for it. That's great. But at the same time, I feel like photography is art. And with art, you shouldn't be restrained. You should be able to take it as far as you want it to. If you're working for commercial, you know, if you're doing commercial photography, obviously there's certain standards of retouching that you have to stick to. But other than that, you know, as I said, if that's your style, if you don't want to retouch it, there's nothing wrong. But I would just kind of stick to whatever works for you and just not be either way. It's kind of like with brands when people are like, I hate Nikon, I hate Canon, I hate this. It's just like, it's preference. At the end of the day, it's all preference. It's all art. It's all subjective. You know, people like different things. Like the fact that somebody likes my work doesn't mean that the other person will like it as well. And it's the other way around. You know, the fact that you might not like retouching your photos doesn't mean that the other person doesn't. So
yeah, I mean, could you imagine if like movies were like that? Like if we said,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's
know,
so much color grading and cutting in movies and all this kind of stuff. So
or special effects, you know, like, I don't want to see any special effects in a movie. Like I just want it to be just like the raw footage.
Oh,
you know? Like how terrible would that be?
I actually saw, it was like a meme the other day. It was like one of the Avengers movies or something. It was like a behind the scenes. And it was just like this scene where she's just going like, and then he's just like,
I think I saw this one.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
I am a lover of memes. For those that
I know. I've been loving your quarantine memes. They're the best.
You know, I was thinking about bringing them to YouTube. And and then I was just like, man, so many people like were upset when I was doing my live streams while I was playing video games. And so I would play like Call of Duty or whatever, and I'm answering questions and talking or whatever, and people were just not happy that I was playing a shooting game. So I'm just thinking, man, what would they say if I was talking about quarantine memes? Might just have like a mass exodus of like subscribers to like some other channel. Yeah, they're just like, peace out, Miguel. I can't believe you're doing quarantine memes. But if you like quarantine memes, check my Instagram out because I share them in my stories all the time.
Yeah, it does. It's great.
So let's see, but nothing like retouching your pictures you have taken. How can anyone else see what vision you have taken the pictures? How can anyone else show the mood with which you have taken the pictures? Well, what would you say to that?
So I need to read this again because I was reading Irene's question. But nothing like retouching your pictures you have taken. How can anyone else see your vision? That's the thing. Like I color grade my own images, so people just retouch my skin. So it's like, at the end of the day, as I said, the color is the most important thing for me. So if I give the image a certain color and I work with retouchers that know how to edit skin the way I like it, it's like a perfect mix because I get the creative control over how the image looks overall with the mood and the coloring. That's why it's so crucial for me to do it myself. And then the person just does a better job at the skin than I would. But you know, at the end of the day, the control is still in my hands and I still decide on how the final product looks. It's just they do the heavy manpower, the heavy work for me. So
yep, totally agree. I'm right there with you. The skin is the part that, you know, takes quite a while to get it to look proper.
Yeah.
And you know, the color grade is kind of how you add your stamp on the photo. And so for me, I do the same thing. They send me back the photo. You know, with skin retouching and everything completed. And then I add my own little artistic, things in terms of color.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
very good question. Let's see. Let me go back to, wow, there's a lot of questions. I'm like going
Yeah,
super slow here.
I just see Irene fighting with people in the comments
Yeah.
already.
Oh,
We
that's
should post
good. That's
that.
good.
We
I
should
like that.
post that on Instagram, like just
Oh,
a
it's
screenshot of
going.
Irene fighting with everybody.
So let's answer this one. This might be a quick one. Can you please tell us how to get fashion editorial clients?
Oh, that's not a quick one. That's a very long one. In general, all I could recommend for you is to test as much as possible, put your work out there, use local brands and designers if you can, reach out to them and just ask them for like few pieces for a shoot. And then hopefully they will see you and they'll get in touch with you. You can also try and contact people, you can contact brands and be like, hey, this is me, this is my rates if you're interested in shooting. And I think that's the best way. So you just have to put yourself out there one way or the other. You either show your work and you just wait for somebody to come to you, or you come to them with your images.
And I will co-sign that.
Yeah,
that
I think
is exactly it. Let's see. So next question, how do you get into the mood for a shoot in order to make a comfortable atmosphere for a shoot?
I mean, I presume that's on set when you're already there and not just before. I think in general, the most important thing for me is to have a connection with my model. I usually, when I shoot, especially for YouTube, I have a very, very small team of people. When I do swimwear, for example, I usually actually just shoot with the model and I either have a videographer or I don't even have a videographer. So, for example, that naked shoot that you saw that I posted on my Instagram, I actually didn't even have a videographer. I just used the tripod because I knew that that extra person might make my model look a little bit uncomfortable. So just taking your time to get to know the person you're going to work with and just making them feel comfortable and, just making like sure that you're a nice person and they can, chat to you and ask you questions if they need to. That's the key. Like the human connection is the most important.
Totally agree. I think, that's the kind of like soft skill side of photography that I think is really important to develop. And for some people it's really easy. And for some people, their personalities are so awkward that it's like, you almost have to fight against yourself to not. And so, it's all stuff that kind of just comes with practice. As far as like, how do I get into the mood to shoot? For me, it's pretty easy because I just love shooting and I'm always excited to kind of like see like what I'm going to come up with. So for me, like I'm in the mood easily, like just like that. I'm like, boom, we're shooting. Let's do this. I don't know if it's like that for you. Like, do you find it difficult?
I think in general, it obviously depends on the shoot. Like, there were certain jobs, for example, if it was for a client, and maybe the model wasn't that great or like the shoot idea wasn't really mine and I wasn't really that into it. It was kind of like, meh, okay. Like, don't get me wrong, I will never come to a job and not give my 100%. Even if I hate it, I will still come there, perform the best I can, because I just think that's just the level of professionalism that is required. I would never go in and just be moody or just, regardless of what the situation is. You always have to be professional. You always have to be very friendly, and just kind of deal with everything afterwards, kind of behind the scenes. But on the set, you have to be, 100%. But, usually when I do my YouTube videos, it's like, I usually organize my own stuff. I work with great models that I want to work with. I work in amazing locations. So it's not really something where you're like, oh my God, I need to go and shoot another bikini model in a beautiful location. Fuck my life. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so challenging.
Somebody please do this for me. I just can't.
Somebody take, Jesus, take the wheel. I can't do it. It's like, take it away from me, So it's like, it's obviously, I guess we're in a comfortable position where we've kind of created our own work for ourselves. But yeah, if you're, I think if you're working for a client or somebody that you don't necessarily maybe want to work with, or the concept is not as exciting, just try whatever you can to just kind of make it more cool for yourself. Maybe think of different like shot ideas that you can get and just take it as an experience, rather than being sad about it, I think.
Totally. Irene says we should plan a cool trip to Bali.
I saw that. Yeah, I think so. Irene was supposed to come and visit me before the whole coronavirus thing started, and then she got spooked with it and she didn't come.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's understandable, absolutely. But yeah, and then I left as well. So hopefully we can all go back there soon-ish.
How's the food in Bali?
Oh, it's incredible. It's like if you're vegan, it's like the best vegan scene in the world. It's like pretty
Mm.
much every single restaurant is vegan. And like the food is ridiculously cheap. Like a meal in the restaurant will set you back like maybe $5, $6.
Oh, that's
And
great.
that's what the drink like,
Yeah, that's
it's
like
really
old
good.
school prices right there.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing, and it's just super fresh, super healthy. It's all like locally grown. It's like nothing is like, it's really nice. They have like I just thought about this like burrito I used to have there. Oh,
Mm.
whew, so
Okay.
good.
We might have to make this
Yeah,
happen then.
yeah.
Might have to make this happen. So Will Hepburn says, "Hey guys, what do you recommend as a great resource from a photographer's perspective for improving model poses at a shoot? What inspires you to get outside of the same go-to types of poses?"
Well, first thing I'll say, you can watch my video that
I'm
happens
pulling
to
it
be
up
with
right now.
Irene. It was a video that actually made me grow my channel by almost 100,000. So
Yeah, because you got like what, like 3 million views
3
or something?
million. Yeah, so that was like how to pose people who are not models. And then I had another video of posing men, and that got like 2 million as well. So watch my channel. No,
Yeah,
but
I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see if I
I,
can find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So if I go to your, there it is,
yeah,
3.2 million in a year. Holy cow.
yeah, it was pretty intense. It actually, it wasn't even a year. It just grew. Oh, you're getting ads.
Yeah, great. Darn
But
ads.
didn't even know that Photoshop had ads. That's interesting.
What is
I have
this?
uh, I have the family subscription thing, so I don't get any ads at all. So I don't even know what's showing.
Oh, but how are creators going to make money if you're blocking all the ads?
Don't know.
They have to get their money somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think that video was great. The posing video that you had was excellent.
So I'm
I
actually I'm
yeah.
actually also doing I think I mentioned I am putting together 3 courses that I filmed before I left Bali, and
Mhm.
one of them is actually going to be a posing course. So it's going to be basically like basics and like a bunch of posing ideas and just showing people how to direct models, how to pose them, and like a real life example of a photo shoot, as well as showing those poses. So it's coming. It was supposed to be here weeks ago, but it's coming. It's very slowly coming. It's like the quarantine lifting. It's a very slow process. It's
That's
like,
right.
yeah.
You got to do it in phases. That's what the government says.
Oh, that's what I'm
Release your
doing.
videos in phases.
Yeah. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. So Richard was asking, Anita, do Canon's RF lenses tempt you to go to the EOS R?
No, not at all. I don't actually even know what lenses they have. I
Wow.
I've only used the EOS R once.
Mhm.
It was a good experience. Like the photos came out nice, but I still wouldn't get it over my Canon 5D Mark IV. I'm waiting to see the R5. I don't know what it's going to be like, but yeah, the EOS R was nice, but it was just like the body felt a bit plasticky. I don't know. It's like very light, which I guess is a
Right.
good thing, but I don't know. There's something about it that I didn't really love. So
Yeah, I think if you're coming from like a 5D Mark IV to, an EOS R and
mm,
you feel that, it's definitely got a less than professional grade feel to the body.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's a great camera. Like the photos that I got on the day were amazing. I love them,
mhm.
but I don't know. I like for now, I mean, my Canon is barely breathing, but it's breathing. No, it's actually not that bad. No, it's actually fine.
I saw your
I'm just
pictures lately. It's breathing quite well.
it's breathing quite well. Yeah,
Yes, it's breathing
I
good.
think it's just I'm the kind of person who is not very precious about my gear. Like because I work with it, I put it to work. So if you look at my camera, it's just covered in like, bumps and or like,
Mhm.
just like scratches everywhere. And I'm definitely not the kind of person who takes like amazing care of their gear, which I probably should. But it's still performing pretty well. And I think the fact that I'm so, I know the camera so well, and I'm so used to using it, it kind of gives you way more power to create great images because you're kind of in sync with it. It's kind of like finding your soulmate, it's just you just click and you know how far you can push them so they don't, break up with you kind of thing. So that's how I know how far I can push my Canon so it doesn't break up with me, basically.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Tiffany has a pretty good question. How do you suggest going from photography as a hobby to becoming a professional photographer as a career?
I think again, just doing tests and just building a decent, solid portfolio for yourself. When you have a good body of work that you're proud of and you want to show people, it helps make the transition from being an amateur to being a professional. It will attract more clients. But it is a process and it takes, takes years. I don't know, I can't remember how long it took me, but I think, well, okay, so I started when I was 16. I don't know what year it was. I think it was like 2008.
Okay.
And I didn't start getting paid jobs until 2014.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I got like, I had like maybe like I don't know, family shoots and stuff like that, but it was just like it just wasn't really anything substantial where I would be able to support myself off it.
Right.
I was obviously in a bit of a different situation because I was so young when I started that basically it was like my second year of college where I started like it's getting jobs and so on. But it does take 3, 4, 5 years to start anything like that, if you assist someone, you can definitely speed it up quite substantially because you will be able to first get more knowledge about how to use lights and how to use your camera and how to get better images by just watching the other person. You will also potentially be able to make some new contacts, even with like other people that are assisting, let's say the stylist or all this kind of stuff. So it obviously all depends on the person, but it does take a good few years to kind of get there. For at least it did for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's funny as you're talking about that. When I started to try to approach photography professionally, there was a local photographer who was also a swimwear photographer. He still
Hmm.
is. His name is Joey Wright. Amazing, amazing photographer. And I remember I emailed him because to me, to my eyes, he was like one of the best photographers in
Hmm.
the local market that I was in at the time. And so reached out to him, wanted to assist him, and then
Hmm.
got the opportunity to assist him on several photo shoots. And then he came on with me on a photo shoot and kind of lent me insight. So I found that to be super useful.
Hmm.
But then also, I also met clients and received clients that like he wasn't able to take them on. And so he would send them my way. Had the opportunity to do a photo shoot back in the day with Patrick Starr, who I don't know if you've
Wow.
seen him
Okay.
on YouTube, but like we did a photo shoot before like I even knew what I was doing. And I remember
Mm.
Joey telling me like, oh yeah, he's on YouTube. And I was like, oh, YouTube, oh, what's that? Had no idea. And then now it's like every time I
Mm.
log into YouTube, it's got his thumbnail up there for to the stay
Mm.
home stuff that YouTube is doing, which is pretty crazy. I never put those photos out either. I might have to do that one day. But
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think building up your body of work is important when you're starting out. But I think the key thing is to develop consistency. And I think that's probably the one
Mm.
thing that will kind of tell you whether or not you're ready to be a professional photographer or not. You can't go out and create one amazing image and then put that on your website. And then people are like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I want to hire you to take my photos. I want a photo just like that. And you're like,
Mm.
but I just got lucky that day. I don't know that I could do it
Yeah.
again, right? So you
Yeah.
have to get to a point as a professional. It's like that in any business, right? Like, could you imagine like a restaurant, right? If the reason why they might be a good restaurant is that they consistently make good food. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
so photography is no different. You can't have, a day where you make this amazing image and then the next day it's like ho hum. I mean, it happens to all of us, but there has to be a certain level of consistency. And I think,
Yeah.
once you get to that, then it's game on.
And it's also like a snowball effect, you start, the clients come, but they come very close or like very slow. And it takes time for you to build your name up and to build your reputation and, to kind of put your name out there. And I find the bigger you grow, obviously, the easier it gets because there's more and more sources. Like even nowadays, when I post my images, it's so much easier to get them out there because I have so many people sharing them and so many people sending them to their friends. And it's just like every single interaction like that, doesn't matter how small, it could be from someone who has 4 followers, but those
Right.
4 followers might become your 4 followers. And it just kind of keeps accumulating, so.
Totally agree.
Mm.
Irene was asking if you had to choose only one lens for the rest of your life till death do us part, which one would it be and why?
I mean, for me, it's an easy one because I use the 24-70, and it's literally the only lens that I pretty much own. I do have a 100 mm as well, but I only use it for beauty. Like I've used it for some swimwear, but for me, 24-70, because of the kind of work I do, and because I know how far I can push it, it gives me great range, you know, because I can shoot on the 24-35, but I can also go to 70 even if I need to, like beauty style kind of thing. So that would definitely be my lens of choice, my baby.
Let's see if I can pull up the lens that I would use. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let's see. Remove this. You ready for this one?
You're like, close all the tabs quick.
Close all these other tabs. Here's the lens that I would use if I could only have one, and I'm pretty sure that I could do anything I would need to do.
Okay.
A 50 to 1,000 millimeter lens, and I'm pretty sure that.
But you know, like if you were holding it with one arm, whichever one you're holding with, it would be kind of like those memes where like one muscle is just
one
like
big
huge
arm.
muscle, yeah, and then the other one is just like this chicken arm.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So 50 to 1,000 seems good. No, you know, I think if I could only have one lens forever, it probably would have to be the like 24-70. You know, because you could pretty much.
It's just such a versatile lens, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could shoot wide, you could shoot tight shots. You know, if you're gonna shoot in low light, you could always bring some strobes or bring some flashes. Yeah, I mean that 24-70 is kind of like the do all, end all, be all. But
yeah,
man, thank God we don't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I do sometimes, especially I find for video when I do YouTube and like behind the scenes, I do find that I miss having like maybe a 1.4 or like well, I have a 1.4 on my Sony, but because it's a cropped sensor, the depth of field is not as shallow. So I would love to have like a 1.2 or 1.4 for my Canon for filming, but it's just the files are so ridiculously heavy. That's one of the reasons why I loved shooting on Sony, because you can take amazing photos, but the video aspect is also really nice, and you know the quality of the footage is all obviously really great, but the files are not so ridiculously heavy, and it's definitely a plus.
Pretty cool. We got Jamil asking frequency separation or dodge and burn.
The question, I literally just had that question with Pratik, and we were just saying that it's kind of both. It depends what for. I mean, when I do frequency separation for myself for swimwear, when I do swimwear, I usually do frequency separation. I don't really use dodge and burn unless it's on the face. So yeah, if I would do beauty, I'll probably stick to dodge and burn a bit more, but maybe I'll do frequency separation as well. And then yeah, I think it's like a matter of preference and what you can master a bit more.
Yep, and it always depends on how much time you have, because frequency separation is always going to be faster than dodge and burn. So
I'm moving myself closer to the light because it's like my light is fading, and I have a little lamp there, and I'm like,
gotta have that good light. Gotta find that good light and get in it. Lorraine was saying, "Love your coffee mug."
It's lovely. Poop coffee mug.
Where's yours? You had your coffee mug.
I have mine.
Too.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's my mom. My mom orders lots of stuff from China, and it says, "Good time. We are having a great time."
See, and then we have like the polar opposite cups.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're having a great time, and
you're just poop.
Oh yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's see, going through the rest of the comments here. So Court, you looking too says, "Hey Miguel, the memes make my mornings." And hi Anita, beautiful work. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you. Someone said in the comments, it sounds like I'm from Poland. I am from Poland. I was born in Poland, but I was raised in Ireland. I moved here when I was 14, and I've been here ever since, up to like a year and a half ago, and then I just went to be a citizen of the world. What a name to give yourself.
Gotta love it. My makeup artist that I've been working with for the past few years, she's from Poland as well.
Okay, so, nice.
Yep, and we've worked with a lot of Polish models in New York and New Jersey, and it's always interesting hearing them talk back and forth in Polish. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's actually pretty funny though. I genuinely can't shoot with Polish models because I can't direct models in Polish anymore. I just don't have the vocabulary anymore because it's like, you know, I am too Polish to my parents. And I
Right.
don't really like, I usually just we usually just text. Like obviously now I'm at home, so it's a bit different, but even when I speak to them, I don't really use like technical terms or anything like that. So
Right.
I'm genuinely, I'm like, anytime there's a Polish model, I know that, you know, there's a Polish model, I'm literally petrified because I know that I won't know how to direct her in Polish. So usually if she speaks English, I will literally just speak English to her. And it's so dumb,
Right.
but it's just mentally, my brain just doesn't comprehend the two tasks at once, just like taking photos and trying to translate at the same time.
Oh no, no, it's not
Yeah,
good. I'm like that in
yeah.
Spanish.
Oh
It's
yeah,
really bad. It's
yeah.
really bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like your brain just doesn't comprehend it anymore. It's just like trying to sit there and think of words. It's like it's so stressful and it creates like much more tension for me. But when I
Right.
can just switch to English, I can just like I can speak English because like now I'm kind of at the point where I'm translating from English to Polish, not from Polish to English. So
Gotta love it.
yeah.
Gotta love it. So before I put this question up, I want to ask all of you guys who are watching the stream right now, do me a huge favor, leave a thumbs up on this video if you guys are enjoying these live streams, because for whatever reason, once these streams go up, I have like a group, and I talked about this in the last stream, of like maybe like 9 or 10 haters that just like the video posts up and they immediately thumb it down. It's so annoying. I don't know if you have that on your channel as well,
That's,
but
I mean, yeah, well, I always have people like as soon as I put up a video, there's always like a thumb down, like before it even like before they can even watch it. So I
yeah,
get
it's like why
I actually just
subscribe to a channel and do that?
let's see. I just posted a video, so let's see if that's the case. If I have any, I probably do. I most definitely do.
If you
I might
don't, then
also
that would be crazy.
no, I definitely do. Okay, let's
Because I
see.
feel like it's like that on every video. Like as soon as a video posts up, everyone has their like
I
family
have
of
two
like
thumbs down,
haters.
two
Hmm.
thumbs down, but at the same time, it's 83 thumbs up, so I'm not
Oh,
mad.
that's good. See, that's a good ratio. That's all you can ask for. So I don't
That's
know if no, go ahead.
yeah, it's just it's funny because I was actually talking to somebody messaged me today basically saying that they want to start a YouTube channel, but they're worried about like people hating on them and people just like disagreeing with them. And I'm like, listen, that's the thing. It's like for every 10 haters that you have, there's 1,000 people that will love what you do. So
Right.
it's just kind of finding this balance and appreciating the people that love you and not wasting time on people that don't. Because there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like you, but at the end of the day, if you concentrate on those people who actually do enjoy your work and find you, you know, helpful, then that's all that matters. So
There's an author that agrees with you named Grant Cardone. And
okay,
one of the things that he says is go out there and get yourself some haters,
yeah,
because, you know, if you've got haters, sometimes your haters become like your biggest supporters in a way,
yeah,
because they still watch your videos, you know, they still
well,
comment.
absolutely. And I think in general, if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, I think the worst thing you can do for yourself is just to be boring, bland, and just unmemorable. Like
Yeah,
you want someone to either love you or hate you because that revokes some sort of an emotion.
right.
And they hate you, as you said, they'll come back to you and still create some sort of a thing with you. But if you're just forgettable, then nobody will watch you and they'll just like snooze halfway through your shoot and it's just never gonna happen, you know?
I
So
totally agree. So
yeah.
Mark was asking, I don't know if you've used the A9, but he's asking between the A9 and the R4 for fashion. What's your input?
Sorry, I have dog hair everywhere on my mouth. I used some A9 once, so I don't think I'm kind of in the position to kind of judge between the two of them. I do love the A7R4 for fashion, though. I used it in LA actually on that trip that we went.
Right. Yeah, I remember the shots came out amazing.
Oh, they were incredible. I loved them so much. It was like one of my favorite shots, like the color grading and everything. So I would definitely recommend the R4. As I said, A9, I shot it once. It was okay. But as I said, it was just one shoot. So it's kind of hard for me to judge.
Yeah, you know, I've shot with the A9 and the A9 too, and then of course I own two R4s. So I mean, I guess my answer would also be to go with the R4, but I will say that some of my favorite shots that I've ever taken up to this point magically happened to have been shot with the original Sony A9.
Mhm.
So it's a really tricky thing,
But
because maybe
sometimes
if
because maybe you're like more familiar with the camera or you're just like you've worked with it more. So it's just like,
yeah, the performance is great. And I don't know, man, that's a really like tricky thing to answer, but like I've invested and paid for two R4s. So
yeah.
yeah, but A9 is a fine camera too. Let's see. Andrew says video. Oh, let's put that up. Video looks good. What streaming app are you using? I'm using StreamYard. So that's what we're using for this live stream, which is a pretty sweet program. I'll see if I can put the link for that in the description case. And I think you said you wanted to do some live streams on your channel as well. So
I'm doing loads of Instagram lives with people, and it's great. But I would love to do YouTube, YouTube live streams, because I mean, most of my followers are on YouTube.
Right.
Instagram is it's just like a fraction. I mean, I'm on like 210 on YouTube and only like 80 on Instagram. So it's just like it would make way more.
80.
Only 80, yes.
I'm only at 40. So,
No, but it's a big difference. And I think like on YouTube as well, people are way more interested in what you're doing, because like there's so many Instagram lives, everybody's going live, and it's just kind of like annoying at this point for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, we got to get you on there. So Nick was asking, do you prefer natural light or strobes, or depending on the situation, you go with the best light?
It's natural light for me, full on. Plug. I literally just posted a video of me using a strobe at the beach for the very first time ever. I've never used the strobe outdoors. So if you want to watch it, check it out. It's literally just up like 10 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience, but I definitely prefer to shoot with natural light. I know you're quite the opposite, right?
Yeah. For me, it's like 90% strobe, maybe 10% natural light. And the only reason that I prefer strobe is because I have so much more control. And, I said earlier about how it's really important to be able to deliver consistency. And I don't know, maybe if I shot more available light, maybe I would get more consistent, but I feel like it's very hard to be consistent with natural light.
That's kind of what I love about natural light. Maybe it's like the risk taker in me. It's just like you never quite know what you're going to get. So it's like a challenge where you kind of, you have to work with what you're given and just make the best out of it. Right. And with like studio, you always know what to expect. But here you have this element of like, the light might be great and it might turn out amazing, or it might turn out absolutely poop. So
see, you can learn so much about a person's personality just by the way that they shoot. Because like for me, you could probably tell straight away, like I'm very much a person who likes to have control over situations in a way. So like, that's why like I struggle with flying for the longest time. Like the thought of being in an airplane and me not being able to be like, oh my gosh, it's bumpy. Let me get the steering wheel. And like that terrifies me. So it's kind of a funny thing.
It's understandable. Like, I mean, I ride a scooter, and it's like when I'm on my scooter, I will literally go like 100 an hour on the motorway. And I'll be like, it was actually so funny when I was when Irene visited me in Bali for the first time. We were on the scooter, and I had another friend like a week before that with me as well, and he never rode a scooter, and he was absolutely shitting it. He just he was like blue when I was driving with him because I go fast, and Irene was like, "I love it." It's just like not holding up.
Oh my gosh! Straight up death trap. It's crazy.
It's so funny. There's this meme where there's like a dog and another dog on a scooter, and it says fire signs and water signs, and it's like like getting in trouble together. And it's so funny because she's a water sign and I'm a fire sign. So it's just like that meme was just another level. It was just like so awesome. Oh my
gosh!
Like, the scooter.
So I think this is a pretty easy, quick question. Jupe was asking: is retouching dependent on the light metering method, spot or matrix?
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. So your metering mode when you're shooting available light, are you you're shooting in manual mode, I assume.
Yes.
So you're just taking the photograph, looking at it, and choosing whether or not the photo looks good or not.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
Do you underexpose? Do you overexpose? Do you expose proper?
I usually underexpose. Not a lot. I usually just underexpose so there's no clipped highlights. I usually make sure when I do expose, I expose for the model's skin first and then everything else. Right. But yeah, I would way rather go darker with my photos and underexposed rather than blow out the highlights because it's so hard to get the highlights back,
Nice. So my boy Mel is here with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that. Wow. He's asking, are you practicing any photography while quarantined?
Well, another plug, I did literally put a video up on me doing a FaceTime photo shoot. It was with a model, Deja, who I shot with before in LA. And we did this home studio photo shoot, and it was so much fun. It was really cool. And yeah, we got to shoot in LA, and I was in my pajamas at home at like 12 o'clock at night. It was like middle of the night here. I've been shooting. I've done 2 FaceTime shoots, and one of them was in New York, and the other one was in LA, but they were both equally like late. Oh yeah, that's me
There it
sitting in the same.
is. So FaceTime photo shoot. I've had
You know.
some people reach out to me about doing this, and
Do you know what?
how was it?
It's like, okay, so I had 2. The first one, that I did was really cool, but because I was doing it for the first time, I didn't know what was the best way to go about it. So I shot it. I basically took photos of my phone. So she was on FaceTime, and I took photos of it. And it was nice because the color grading is much easier to do it this way. But for my second shoot that I did that isn't out yet, it's probably going to be out either end of this week or maybe beginning of next. I shot on my computer, and I took screenshots on FaceTime, or actually on Skype, I think. And that was way better quality in that sense, for sure. But they are both equally challenging. You're definitely working with like it obviously depends on the model's like internet connection as well.
Right.
There was moments where she looked like a blurry shape, and then there was moments where the internet was pretty okay. So it's fun. It definitely gets your like juices going, and you just like get to be creative for a bit, and you kind of forget that you're sitting in your parents' house at the age of 28, and it's just like it's great. So in this sense, I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. But don't expect it to be like amazing quality. This is not like stuff that you put in your portfolio, you know?
Yeah, I think there's going to be like I don't know, like a little category of photography that's just for those people who live through this time of quarantine. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've just been taking a lot of pictures of family, taking pictures of friends, doing the type of photography that like I probably maybe won't show people, you know, because it's just like it's stuff for me, which I don't know about you, but like I feel like I don't do that.
Are you taking boudoir self-portraits of yourself?
Yes. Selfies in the mirror, you know, just like
you on the bed, just like half naked.
Practicing my posing, you know, why
Yeah,
not? Why not?
go.
There's a market for that somewhere.
Yeah, like lots of people like do self-portraits. I did self-portraits yesterday only because I'm doing it for Irene's channel. That's my only motivation here. Because I just don't like my face on photos in general. So, but I was doing it yesterday. I do have to redo it because I wasn't like super happy with how it turned out. So it's fine to do self-portraits. It's just not very exciting. I would rather do FaceTime photo shoots. I think I have like 1 or 2 more planned, maybe. But yeah, in general, as I said, FaceTime is fine. It's something different. It's something creative. I know a few photographers who got really, really good at FaceTime actually, and like their work is like incredible.
Yeah,
but they do kind of but they have kind of like a film quality to their work, so it's obviously kind of grainy looking already.
Right.
So that helps. Like for me, because my style is quite like in your face, it's kind of a bit of a like, oh, the style is completely different, so it probably wouldn't work very well with my feed. But it's a fun thing to do for YouTube as well. So
yeah, I think it's interesting, and it just gets people thinking that you know, just because you're in quarantine, it doesn't mean you can't create. You know,
absolutely, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I'll take 2 more questions here, and then I know we're coming up on our hour here. So Chuck was asking, how do you find quality educational material with everything behind a wall? What do you look for to know it's worthwhile?
I mean, I guess you should look for, you know, work from people that you already know and know their work is good. So for example, you know, if you have a YouTuber that you follow and they put out a course and you already follow their videos and you know what they are like, you know, it's obviously a good, you'll kind of have a good idea of what their work is like already and what kind of stuff they teach you on YouTube, and will it be worth your while or not. You know, obviously when you look at promotional material, a lot of the time, everything is super glossy and looks amazing. So it is hard to tell. So I guess it's down to just figuring out the people that you really admire, whose work you really admire, and just, you know, kind of going going with that, looking at reviews, obviously, looking at, you know, what other people are saying about the courses. A lot of the time when people release courses, like for example, Michael Sasser, he released a boudoir course that is amazing. And he had like actual extracts from the course in his YouTube promo video, which is very helpful. So it's kind of just down to finding people that you can really resonate with in terms of their work, and then just, you know, going into these courses with just like with just an open mind and just trying to hopefully learn as much as you can.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that really the key is just continuing to search. I know when I started out, I invested a lot of money in learning, and sometimes it was great, and I got a lot of mileage out of that, purchase of a tutorial or course or whatever. And other times I got stuff like, prime example, I love Annie Leibovitz,
Oh,
but
is that the
her masterclass
I
is
was just going to
horrid.
say. I
Horrid.
was say it was like the best example that, you know, they have such a high. Sorry, I choked on myself when you said Annie Leibovitz.
I choked on it after I watched it. I'm like, what did
No,
I just
because
do?
I've seen it as an example. Like I've seen it so many times because when she started promoting, I'm like, wow, Annie Leibovitz, that must be amazing. But
Yep.
that's the problem with, I think, a lot of the courses that are put out by people who are not necessarily like in education. That it's just this like wishy-washy, like, oh, I'm kind of doing this, but I'm not really going to show you stuff, which I find super frustrating. And it's just,
Hmm.
especially if they charge you, what do they charge? Something like $99 or something?
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. I think the course itself might have been, it was either 99 or 150. I don't remember
That's
exactly, but it was a lot. It was enough to where it's like, if I spend that much money, I expect to learn a
yeah,
bunch of like
yeah.
applicable stuff, not just like, I felt like a lot of the content, maybe you can, maybe you feel different, but I feel like a lot of the content could have been for free on YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's, you know, this is the case. I think that's why I gave an example of like, you know, buying stuff from YouTubers, because in a way, at least you know what they are like, and you know that they are giving you so much free content already that at least, you know, you kind of have an idea of what to expect. Well, with a lot of like, especially I find with photographers, there is this thing that really annoys me, and it's been kind of shifting a tiny bit, but I find a lot of high-end photographers that have a big account, they will get into you know, teaching because they want to make money, but they don't really want to share how they take their photos regardless. So they
Right.
will just put this, you know, this course that basically just gives you like this, you know, this like those bits of information that you can't really do anything with because they don't go far enough to explain it, or they just full on just don't go into it at all.
Right.
And it's really frustrating. So I think, yeah, it's just you have to look. I think in general, like mastered is just like a lot of the courses that they had like that. I know that there was people that did the makeup course on it, and they charged something like 5 or 6 grand for it. And the
Oh my
course was
gosh.
literally just pointless. It's just like they got some contacts out of it, okay, but you know, it was supposed to be like a limited course where there was only going to be like a certain amount of makeup artists, and then turned out that there was like 400 people signed up, and it's just companies like that that really rub me the wrong way, because it's just they charge so much because, you know, people are, I won't say naive, it's just people buy into their marketing, and then they
Right.
end up wasting money and still not learning anything. So, you know, there's loads of educators out there, you know. The guy that I had the live feed with today, Pratik, he's amazing at retouching. There's this website called Portrait Masters, I think,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
he has a whole series there for retouching, and he charges something like $99, and he literally keeps updating with new videos and stuff like that. Is so valuable because, you know, he's a professional that works in the industry, but he's also an amazing educator. He was actually on Creative Live as well, so that's like another good thing where you can, let's say, watch a free class from someone on Creative Live and then get an idea of what their teaching style is like, and if they are, you know, if they're helpful with conveying the information and so on.
Yep. Totally agree. Irene was saying Agatha Sergey
Okay.
is so
Okay.
amazing. Yeah, I think I saw this person. They might have been one of the first people that
Mm.
started doing these like
It's her and
quarantine
like
shoots.
Alessandro something, but their work
Yeah.
is amazing. You
Yeah.
never say FaceTime. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like I saw those pictures and I was just like, I don't think I have anything to add to this. You know, like it's so good. And I feel
Yeah.
like for me, and I don't know if you're like this, but when I see something done really well, I'm just like,
Mhm.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just sometimes you can just admire and be just, appreciative of
Yeah.
it
Just be
being
a
brilliant.
fan.
Yeah. It's so
I'm
cool.
a big fan of it, you know?
Yeah.
So at any rate, we've gone about 5 minutes or so over. So thanks for spending some time with me and with the audience here on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for
Yeah.
answering questions. It was a lot of fun. And where do you want to send everybody? Where can they find
I
more about your stuff?
think just check my YouTube because we're on YouTube already anyway. So Anita Sadowska, I'm here. My Instagram is Sadowska Photo, but if you check any of my videos, all the links are down below. So, and all my videos.
Hmm. And I'll
So
put it in the description for this live stream too. So
yeah, I think
you'll be able to get to the channel and all that. So
that's the easiest way, and then you guys can see what I do, what shenanigans I get up to with my videos,
that's
how many
right.
failed attempts of using a flash at the beach I can pull off.
Oh, so that video posted today?
I literally just posted it like 5 minutes before we went live, so it's just literally up now.
So I'm gonna have to check it out because I gotta say, you know, I saw the photos. You sent me some of your pictures yesterday to
Mhm.
dig through to see
Oh
what I was
yeah,
gonna use
yeah,
for the thumbnail, and the strobe photos were in there, and I was like, you know, my first photos with a strobe weren't like that. So
yeah. Thank you.
compliments to you. Yeah,
Thank
my first ones, you know, I almost want to make a video just showing my first photos, but my
I
fear is that the person who I photograph will watch the video and be like, oh man, you know, he said he loved the photos when we did it.
but I think it's like we do outgrow our work, so it's just I mean the photos that I loved that I took like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I wouldn't even like I wouldn't want anybody to see them. So I think it's normal. I think it's
uh,
okay.
that's too
Oh,
funny. Everybody is just sounding off in the comments saying thanks for joining here. So
yeah,
yeah,
thank you so much.
it was great. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get to do a proper YouTube video at some point. And
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe I'll join Irene and we'll head over to Bali and have some adventures.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe we should just like maybe if it's like all blown up or just gone by December, maybe we should just do like Christmas in Bali. By the way,
Man, that
for
would be
everybody,
crazy.
like a little sign off. I'm literally sitting in my unicorn pajamas.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny. I'm not in pajamas. I'm in
Unicorn
shorts.
top, pajama on the bottom. I need to take my
Wow. In true Zoom meeting fashion.
absolutely.
Gotta love it. I'm just in
Real.
socks. Like I'm pretty much in shorts and socks. So I'm
Okay.
partially dressed, but
Okay.
it,
Well, it's better than nothing. So
it works though. You could get away with it. You could totally get away
yeah,
with it. If
I
I'm wearing
mean,
PJs on this live stream, it's like 50 thumbs down, you know, like, oh, Miguel, terrible,
well, thank you so
terrible.
much for having me. I had fun. I'll once I figure out my live stream, we can go live on my YouTube channel as well. So
Boom. Let's do it. Game on. Game on. I'm happy and appreciate you spending your time with us. And hope you guys all who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, again, if you watch this entire thing, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment saying, I watched the whole thing because I want to know who those people are. Maybe I'll have a little something to send your way. So thanks a lot for watching the live stream and check you guys all out later. Stay safe.
bye.